Wittenberg Project. Hope everybody had a blessed and happy, Merry Christmas with their friends and family. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, my last book, I touched on this, but I tried to, avoid the topic a little bit, not trying to be a political type network, you dig? But yo, you liberals are driving me crazy. Crazy. Yo, Christmas is about the incarnation of Jesus Christ, God coming in flesh. Why did he come? To save humanity. He died for us while we were yet sinners. Rose on the third day. Like, it's the beginning of that revelation that Christ came, and we're celebrating. This whole narrative of Jesus was a refugee, what does it have to do with Christmas? Like, you guys are missing the point. If Jesus wasn't a refugee, it doesn't change the fact that he came as God. If he was, it doesn't either. The focus isn't the status of what Jesus was politically to impact some agenda of some legislation. Like, this is crazy. If you want to talk about love of neighbor, let's talk about love of neighbor. Let's talk about love of neighbor. You don't have to skew the biblical message in one of the most important, significant days in humanity's history where God came to earth as a man. You don't have to put that on the back burner to create some false narrative. False narrative, why? Jesus wasn't born a refugee. Period. So if we're talking about that today, and it's Christmas, and you want to bring up Jesus as a refugee, you're trying to tie it, let's be honest, you're trying to tie it to his birth. But that's not the case. It's not the case. You're literally skewing the Bible to force in your political agenda. That's not cool. That's not cool. Like, I'm all for talking about the treatment of immigrants and things of that nature. We can talk about open borders. I mean, I'm not going to agree with you, but we can talk about it. But there's no reason to muddle the waters and throw Jesus' name around with lies and things to manipulate people. There's no reason for it, So let's keep it 100. All right, Jesus was not born a refugee. Okay, that's just fact. Okay, now they'll fast forward and they'll say, well, later on he fled to Egypt for his life. He was a refugee then. Okay. Christmas isn't about him fleeing to Egypt. That has nothing to do with 'tis the season at all. So don't try to skew it to make it more biblical. These lies that people, and I hate to say liberals, but that's typically the side it falls on, are trying to do to conflute the narrative. I mean, yo, what's next? You're going to tell me, oh, on Easter, we have to talk about gender identity and identity because Jesus wanted to be known as the King of the Jews and they killed him for it. That was his identity. You're going to skew that passage too? You're going to make Jesus dying on the cross not about, him dying for sin. Not about none of that. You're going to turn it into gender identity. You're going to turn it into identity in general. Like, no, Jesus wanted to be this and they wouldn't let him. No, like, sorry if I'm offending some people out there. Like, Like, this isn't like an anti-alphabet people blog or vlog. Like, I'm just keeping it real with you guys. Like, let's keep the focus on the focus. I'm almost mad that the conservatives, if you want to call it that, or the people who are sticking up for it saying, no, listen, Jesus was not a refugee. I'm almost mad that they're even engaging this. But I get why they have to, because people are trying to use our Lord for a political agenda. I mean, don't get me wrong, the conservatives do it too on other issues, But you're not about to hijack Christmas or Easter. Like, I'm just going to keep it real with you. Like, those are the two of the most significant days in human history. It's just a fact. And you start picking on those days, don't come to a gunfight with a knife, because we about to have at it. Like, we're not about to turn a celebration of Jesus, God coming down, born in flesh for you and for me, into an issue of, we have this new legislation coming up, and Jesus will love it. We're not about to do that. We're not about to do that because, no offense, that's not what saved me. And when I celebrate Christmas, I'm talking about I'm happy that salvation was brought to me. I hate to say it, but to certain groups of people, it's starting to seem like Jesus is just a means to an end. Meaning that, I need to take my car to work. I have to get to work, so I need my car. Okay? Now, I can take the bus, I can take other transportation, so that the means of transportation is up in the air. I need to get to where I need to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll use Jesus to do whatever they want. And it's getting hard. Like, it's hard to sit here and look at you all with a straight face and even act like we're brothers and sisters in this. You know what I'm saying? Because Jesus is not, he's not your fetch it boy. Like, he's not someone you can say, we want to do this and we need Jesus to do this. So, yeah. Get to painting that narrative about my boy Jesus. You know what I'm saying? That's not how this works. That's not how this works, I even had this one guy tell me I'm spreading lies about Jesus by saying he wasn't born a refugee. That even when he was a refugee at 2 years old, that's not what Christmas is about. If you want to talk about immigration treatment, let's talk about it. But let's not throw Jesus' name, you know what I'm saying, in the mix for no reason. And we're not talking about stuff that's actually, you know what I'm saying, covered on the day we're celebrating. Anyhow, Wittenberg Project, sign out.